so we're going to start on page 17. So lesson 2, session 1 is what we're doing today. So finding volume using unit cubes. We've already talked about unit cubes in session 1, or lesson 1. So what do you know about a unit cube? Blaine, what do you know about a unit cube? It has a volume of 1. That's right. Ania, you know something else about a unit cube? It's a 3D shape. What makes it 3D? You can see more than one face, or it's not flat. That's right. So let's look at this problem here. So we're going to talk about Carl. Carl filled the clear box shown below with unit cubes to find its volume. The unit cubes Carl used all have side lengths of 1 foot. What is the volume of the box? So, I want you to take a second, solve the problem. Okay, solve the problem, write down your answer. We're going to talk about it here in just a second, okay? All right, so let's talk about Carl. What is the volume of the box? 6. Okay, so that is correct. 6 is the volume. When you look at this unit cube, though, it has feet with it. Okay, so now in the last lesson, we just talked about finding the volume in general. Now we're going to add a unit to it. Okay, so in this case, our unit is feet. So this would be 6 cubic feet. Okay, or you could just write FT instead of the whole word. Okay, you can just use the abbreviation. All right, so now, we're not only finding the volume now, we're adding that unit to it, because that unit is important because it tells us what we're measuring it in. Are we measuring in feet? Are we measuring in inches? Are we measuring miles, centimeters? So we have lots of different options there. So who can tell me how you found the volume? Alyssa, how did you find the volume of that shape? Okay, so she said 3 cubes on the top, 3 cubes on the bottom. So she did 2 times 3 equals 6 cubic feet. Did anybody else do it a different way? Blaine, how did you do it? So what did you do? But how did you know it was 6? I'm trying to get you to say one word. You're not saying what I want you to say. How did you know? How did you know it was 6? Alyssa multiplied. What did you do? You added. Okay. So Blaine did 3 plus 3 equals 6 cubic feet. Anybody else do anything different? Colin, what did you do? Counted. You can count them. You can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and realize there are 6. So you can count the boxes also. So there's 3 options right there on how you can solve that one problem. Okay? Do I care which way you do it? No, I do not care. As long as you get the correct answer, I don't care if you count them, if you multiply, if you add, if you have some other kind of crazy way you figure it out, that's fine too. Okay? However you can figure it out is fine. So let's look over on page 18. Yeah. Yeah, I'm currently right now, yes. All right, so let's look at number 1 under the connected part. Okay, so it says, describe the measurement unit Carl should use and explain how he can find the volume of the box. So, what unit does Carl use? No, feet. He's using, oh, wait, I forgot. Forgot to put my box up there. Again. I know. Every time. Okay, so he is using feet. How do you know he's using feet? Because it said it on the box. It will tell you the unit. That's how you know what unit to use. If it does not tell you a unit, don't use one. Okay? Now, explain how he can find the volume of the box. We just did that. We explained 3 different ways that you can find it, so we're not going to explain it again. Okay? We're not even close to there yet. So, all right, let's look at number 2. Volume is measured in cubic units. Does anybody know what the word cubic means?
One single square unit.
Luke, what do you think cubic means?
Multiple units of square.
Okay, so it does have to do with multiple things. Alyssa?
What cubic is like a square type of.
Okay, all right. Okay, Connor? Cubic.
Cubic. Little square.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what cubic actually means. Cubic means it actually stands for 3. Okay, so when we start talking about exponents later on, when something is cubed, that means it has an exponent of 3. So when we talk about volume next week, when we move into lesson 3, you'll see that volume is actually length times width times height. So 1, 2, 3. That's where the cubic comes in. Okay? I just wanted you to know that, just FYI. Okay, so cubic units. Here are some cubic units that you might use to measure volume. So here we have cubic inches, and you can see it has IN as its abbreviation. Cubic centimeters is CM, and cubic feet or FT. That's what we just used. Okay? So out of inches, centimeters, and feet, who knows which one's the biggest? Colin? Feet is the biggest. Which one's the smallest? Centimeters is the smallest. Okay, so let's look at this box that they've showed us now. Carl has another box shown below. What is the volume? It's still 6, but what is our unit this time? Cubic inches this time. So you got to pay attention to what that unit is. Okay? Now, everything that we look at, every rectangular prism we look at, they'll have the same unit on each side. Okay? They're not going to try to trick you and make 1 feet and 1 inches. They're not going to do that. Okay? So just, it'll all be the same. So you'll have 1 unit you're looking at. Okay, so let's look at the reflect question, number 3. What is the same and what is different about the volume of Carl's 2 boxes? So what was the same about the boxes? Izzy, what was the same? Okay, so volume was 6. That's what was the same. What was different? Anna, what was different?
The first one was feet. The second one was inches.
So our units were different. So first one was feet, and the second one was inches. Okay? Everybody feel good so far? Okay, let's talk about your homework. Well, classwork, excuse me. All right, so let's talk about, if I can quit. Okay. There we go. All right, so on page 19. So everybody look at page 19. All right, so you're going to do page 19 and 20. So it's the front and back of that one page. So go ahead and circle page 19 and circle page 20 in your book. No, 19 and 20. All right, so let's talk about the top of page 19 first. So you have the little boxes like you're used to filling out. This time, your word is rectangular prism. Rectangular prism. So the first box, tell me what a rectangular prism is. The second box, tell me what you know about it. And then you have 3 examples. if you have no earthly idea what a rectangular prism is, look back there on that bulletin board. There's some pictures of some rectangular prisms you could use as your examples. Okay? So, that gives you some examples right there. All right? So, let's keep going. Number 2. So, number 2 is asking you to find the volume, but this time instead of using cubic or unit cubes, they're using boxes of pencils. So just the shape's a little bit different. Okay, so all you're doing on that one is finding volume. Number 3, you're doing the same thing. You're finding the volume. On number 3, make sure you put your unit on it. If you do not put the unit, I'm going to count half off. Okay? And then number 4, as long as you show your work on number 3, you don't have to worry about number 4. So you can mark out number 4. So mark out number 4 because you're doing that on number 3. Okay?
Do we ever